Good morning, you guys. Welcome back to Dr. Kim's Going Live. Today, we're going to be discussing 4 reasons you should schedule sex in a busy season. And I know that we haven't been on in a while, and I'm sorry about that. We took off for Christmas and then the new year, and so we are happy to be back. If you guys have any questions throughout the video, please drop it in the comment section below or send us an email. Okay, Dr. Kim, what are some reasons couples stop having sex?
Well, I think it has a lot. In one of the books we talk about 24/7, 365 foreplay, which is basically being intentional about caring for your spouse all the time. So when you're not doing that, when you're fighting more, when other things that can distract us, a
Yeah.
job change, maybe shift change. I've had couple that always had the same shifts, and then all of a sudden it changed, and one work nights and one work days, and they had to figure it out. Kids, that changes things.
Yeah.
On that, you have to be very intentional, especially when you have a young baby. And just we're also darn busy all the time, and so it's like we don't make that a priority, and 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 so that kind of builds up over time. But I think a lot of it is just not being intentional, not connecting. I think if you're connecting well consistently, then the sex life usually is gonna happen.
Yeah.
But if you're not and you're not taking time to do that, then you just kind of feel like strangers, and
Yeah.
and so it's different.
So, what do you think about scheduling sex?
I think it's fine. A lot of people get, oh, it should be spontaneous and blah blah blah, and that's because we've watched too many movies, probably, because it's always
Yeah.
spontaneous. They'll have anyway. But so I think scheduling it is fine, because especially I think when you've got distractions. Maybe you say you got let's find 2 times a week that we're going to schedule sex, and find the time that that most of the time it's going to be where you can,
Yeah.
or maybe, and it could be one time during the week, the weekend, or both on the weekend. Maybe you get babysitters, even, or friends,
Yeah.
have your kids over, something like that. But just being intentional and talking about it, and knowing it is a priority, that's something you want to keep active in your life. I think guys have struggled anyway when a baby comes, about feeling kind of left out, because
Yeah.
at that point it's the mom and the baby a lot, because the nurturing, all the stuff that goes along with that. So I think continue to be intentional about sex, and that time with your spouse makes a big difference too.
Yeah.
And so scheduling, it's okay.
Yeah. So, what is the first reason that we should schedule sex in a busy season?
Um, I think I think it's going to keep, I have had couples say, well, yeah, we're going to have sex once a week. Well, if they don't schedule it, they come back in for counseling in 2 weeks, and, well, how'd the sex go? Well, we didn't have it. Something goes in the way. So I think it makes it happen.
Yeah.
It, and you both are aware of it. And I think especially for a woman, a wife, mom, that when it's a lot of it's in your mind. And
Yeah.
so when you know that, okay, this is something that I want to happen with my husband, we've set a time for it, then you can begin to gear your mind for it too. And so it's because I think sometimes as guys, we're not very conscious of when we ask our wives or whatever, or we do it out of frustration sometimes. So if you take the time to schedule it, then I think it'll happen more often. And obviously, if it happens spontaneously too, that's fine too. But it's being intentional, so you make sure it does happen.
So, what if a woman is in that mindset where she's just not really wanting to have sex with her husband? What do you think she should do? Do you think prayer is helpful? What kind of tips would you
I
recommend?
do. I think prayer. I think I think one, I would want to know what's going on in the marriage. Is there a lot of fighting and things that are, does he say hurtful things that are hard for her to get over? If that's a factor in there, then I think those things need to be addressed with counseling,
Yeah.
something like that. But in general, I think you can pray for God to make your desire for your husband,
Yeah.
have that desire, that God would build that into your relationship. And then I think be open to talk to your spouse about it, and what's going to work, and helping him know what what you like, what you don't like, those kind of things. A lot of times guys don't ask, because I think we think we're supposed to know everything. Well, we don't. And
Yeah.
we certainly don't know everything about the woman we're married to. And the only person that we can get that from is you guys. And so talking about it, and I think making the decision that I want this to be a part of our marriage. And so then once you make that decision, then you begin to do the things that are going to make that happen.
Yeah. So, just really quickly, the second tip is quality is more important than quantity, but quantity is important too. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think quality is really important. I mean, I think, and it can be quality. I mean, it doesn't have to be like candlelight and
Yeah.
romantic dinner and all this kind of stuff over time to be quality. Quality is just, I think, when you really feel connected with that. And so I think if you eliminate the distractions, you're intentional about it, then I think it makes the quality of sex better.
Yeah.
Getting rid of distractions is huge, especially for the wife, I think, so she can really let herself go and really enjoy
Yeah.
the time with her husband.
Yeah.
Um, so I think that's, and quantity, it's good. The frequency is really up to the couple. I think that I would say, looking over our marriage, times when the kids were little were probably different than other times. We tried to be intentional at least once a week, but sometimes that might not happen. So
Yeah.
I think it's just continuing to do the things that make your relationship healthy for sex, and then letting those things happen.
Yeah. I
And
like
then the quantity hopefully will take care of itself.
yeah. So the third tip is help us build it up mentally so it's more enjoyable.
Yeah, I think that's probably a little more, well, I think it's for guys too, because I think guys, if he, as a guy, guys don't like to be told no. I
Yeah.
mean, it's whether it's our ego or whatever. I mean, we're just kind of, anyway, we just like that sometimes. So I think the if the guy knows, okay, Sunday afternoon the kids are at
Yeah.
her parents, we're gonna have that afternoon together. It lets him think about it. I think it gives a guy a chance to be a little more romantic, because some of the times when we're just kind of initiating, stumbling through it, it can be a little awkward. But
Yeah.
to think about it, and for the wife mentally to prepare for this, is going to be a time to have with my spouse, and
Yeah.
then make it special. And by special doesn't mean you have to spend a lot of money. It means you just are intentionally together and there's no distractions.
Yeah. And I feel like it's so much easier to do than people think. People overthink it all the time. It's like, oh, we have to have sex this week. How do I do this? I need a babysitter. I need to get a candlelight dinner. I need to do all these things. But genuinely just setting aside some time for each other is all you really need to do, don't you think?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And have fun with it, you know? If the kids aren't there, maybe you do have a picnic in front of the fireplace on the floor, and that's where you end up making love. I mean, just, just whatever works.
Yeah. So the last tip that we have is reconnecting. And I don't know why, maybe it's just me, but I feel like since it's the new year, it's time to reconnect with everybody, especially if you're having a hard time, connecting with your spouse. This is the time to do it. So reconnecting. What do you think about that?
I think that's really, anytime you can get a start over, if you have couples I work with and sex life has been going good, sometimes it's just better to say, hey, if there's anything we need to work through from the past, the hurts, let's do that. But then let's start forward. Let's make a new plan that's going to work for us together. Let's commit for this next year to really work on this and to build it healthy,
Yeah,
to set aside those times intentionally to be together and to make it as good as we can make it. And for both of us. And it needs to be good for both of you.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
Well, that is unfortunately all the time that we have for today. But if you guys have any questions, please drop them in the comment section below and we will get to them next week. And we hope that you guys have a great day. Thank you.
Have a good day.